Hundreds of spectators gathered to watch somebody get kicked in the groin. A man rode his horse through Target and pooped on the floor. And a store in Toronto was told to stop sending butt plugs to Bahrain. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast recorded by a comedian inside a closet. Here we go. Hundreds of spectators gathered to watch an individual get kicked in the balls. Okay, well, 2026 is already an insane timeline. We're only in the first week here. Some people gather to watch someone get kicked in the junk. I think I can speak for all of us when I say, why, man? Just why? Now, this avant-garde genital-boosting event was billed as a final send-off to some male anatomy before a trans person's bottom surgery, with the kick delivered alongside a flute accompaniment. This is very funny. All right, so we got someone who's about to get bottom surgery. So they're going to get their genitals removed, their male genitals removed. And so they're like, who wants to give me a final send-off? Kick me in the junk one more time. What's with the flute accompaniment, though? I wouldn't. That's something that surprises me. I mean, it's very weird. I like it, but why wouldn't you have some, like, a metal band or something? Like, when I think of a violent kick to the groin public event, I don't think of a flute accompaniment. That's just me, though. I've never sponsored one of these events before, and I never will. Now, this event was shared online. There was a poster circulating that said, "Come watch me get kicked in the balls one last time before bottom surgery." Now, the kick was to be delivered, quote, full force, big boot, execution style, and by a large person. At the bottom of a poster was a disclaimer. It says, "This poster is not a bit. I'm actually wanting to get kicked very hard in the balls. Maximum disrespect, please." Now, apparently the online promotion worked, and about 120 people turned out at Glasgow's. Is it Glasgow or Glasgow's? I'm going to get an email about this. The event took place at a place called Queen's Park. There's a video of this. I'm going to have to give this a gander. All right, well, can't unwatch that. It wasn't the worst thing I've seen as part of a Weird AF News segment research. As you know, I've been monitoring Florida Man for several years. The person getting kicked in the video gives a little more backstory, saying something about how 5 months ago he promised if he got on the bottom surgery list, he'd get kicked in the nuts as a consequence. The person kicking the other one in the junk then says to the camera something about being very thrilled about it. And here's a quote. "If you know that you will never feel something again in your life, even if that isn't an unpleasant thing, surely you should do it one last time." So it's a bit of a philosophical take on the kick to the junk, I'd say. Then I got to view the kick to the balls, and it was quite powerful. It was a swift kick, and the dude crumpled to the ground. Everyone was cheering in the video, and you can hear locals yelling, "Do it again!" and "What about the other testicle?" So, I mean, obviously there's some sick C words in Glasgow wanting more of this. I mean, there's probably not a lot going on over there, so why not gather for a public nut crunching? You know, a good old scrotum smashing. A beanbag bruising, a sack crack, a testes rupture con. I need to stop. These aren't so good, are they? Oh, I forgot to mention there's an accompanying flute being played in the video, which just makes it all the more bizarre. The end of my article says this event comes amid a growing number of Watch Me-style live events. In Edinburgh last summer, some 1,000 people turned out to watch a comedian fold a fitted sheet. And a man in the U.S. went viral after eating an entire rotisserie chicken every day for 40 days, with crowds gathering in Philadelphia to watch him complete the final day of the challenge. Oh, I don't remember either of those. Did I cover either of those? I don't even remember what I did last year, to be honest. 2025, what a blur that was. I'm a little more lucid for 2026, guys. All right, lucky you. A man rode his horse through a Target, grossed out the shoppers as it pooped onto the floor. I'm surprised it's a Target. This sounds more like a Walmart situation, right? If you're going to bring your horse and poop on a store floor, wouldn't you do it in Walmart? A Walmart in Florida, ideally. Although no one would even bat an eye if that happened. Okay, it says here, a man is going viral after riding his horse through a packed Target store, much to the annoyance of the store's security and some customers. Yeah, but who cares? Because it got likes, right? That's all that matters in life. If you got likes. It's just, that's all that life's about, guys, is getting likes and subscribes online. I mean, even if a child gets kicked in the skull by a horse hoof and has permanent brain damage, I mean, it's still worth it for the likes and subscribes, right? Right? All right, let's get the moron's name. Stephen Harmon, otherwise known as Cowboy at Heart. He's made a name for himself for uploading horse-themed content. Oh, and in addition, is he uploading endangering content as well? Because this is what's going on here when you bring your horse into a crowded store with a lot of loud noises and flashing lights and who knows what else that could spook a horse and send it into a rage. I mean, did any forethought go into this at all? No, probably not. And if so, he probably just went, it's worth it for the likes, for the subscribes, right? For the views. Some of this guy's most views videos include showing people how to ride and mount horses. But in other clips, he unleashed his troll side. In his most viral video, which has amassed 10 million views, he rode his horse into a Tractor Supply in New York City and had a confrontation with a manager about the legality of having an animal in the building. He's taken it up a notch this time by bringing his horse inside a Target in New York City. This was on January 6th, so that would be yesterday. He took his horse into a Target and immediately began galloping around, leaving shoppers in disbelief. I would say that's a mild way of putting it. Shoppers were not just in disbelief, they were completely shocked that a horse was inside the store. A little alarmed, it looked like, although some were laughing. Now, the bizarre sight of the horse inside a Target turned a little bit ugly, though, after the horse started pooping during the shopping trip, leaving a ton of excrement on the floor. Meanwhile, security was left running around trying to keep up and eventually confronting Steve, demanding that he leave the store. Yeah, I saw the confrontation in the TikTok clip. I did not see the horse pooping in the clip. I'm gonna take their word for it. I don't even want to see that, to be honest with you. And I feel bad for the Target employee that's got to clean that up for minimum wage. Horrible day. That individual should have the right to go and poop on Steven's bedroom floor, in my opinion. Now, surprisingly, in the video, you see the manager confront him and tell him he needs to get out. And Steven doesn't give a lot of pushback. He agrees to take out the horse pretty much immediately, which surprised me because you know how these influencers can behave. But I mean, Steven isn't a teenager. I think if it was a teenage influencer, it'd be a different outcome. But he's an adult, and so he sort of had an adult response. Although the choice to bring the horse in there, not very adult, in my opinion, quite risky. A horse could kill a child, stomp a child, kick somebody in the head and kill them as well. And all it takes is for the horse to get spooked. And how easy would it be for a horse to get spooked inside a busy department store in New York City? It just seems like this wasn't thought out too well. Although maybe it was. Just influencers don't care. Influencers going to influence. And, sadly, we live in a time where irresponsible behavior on social media sometimes gets rewarded monetarily and otherwise. And it just encourages dangerousness. Is that a word? Dangerousness? This video obviously was rewarded with over 4 million views as of this morning. Even the official Target account on TikTok replied with a joking Target run, Target ride, along with a cowboy emoji. So even Target's encouraging this nonsense. This article ends by saying, this may not be the end of Cowboy at Heart's horsing around. Days earlier, he posted a video riding into a Walmart, but was kicked out very quickly. He took it into a Walmart. Oh, man, this guy. Poor horse, man. Can you imagine this poor horse? This is horse abuse, would you not say? I don't know if there's a society for the prevention for the abuse of horses. It just seems like this horse has got a raw deal. This horse is being brought into stressful places like Walmart, Chuck E. Cheese. Who knows where else Steve's taking the horse. He doesn't care about regulations and protocol or the horse's feelings at all. But what are you going to do? He gets rewarded, so he's going to keep doing it. And he has a hell of a lot more followers than I do and probably makes 100 times the money I make. I disagree, though. A sex store receives an ultimatum from the U.S. Department of War. Stop sending butt plugs to Bahrain. Well, today I'm learning that the U.S. has a Department of War. Is that new? Is that a new division? I think they mean Department of Defense. A better question is, why do they give a damn about butt plugs being sent through the mail to Bahrain? Bahrain? I assume it's to the soldiers over there. Are soldiers not allowed sex toys? I don't know. I've never been in the military. Maybe they have a strict no sex toy policy. The article says not one but two letters were sent from the Pentagon to a Toronto-based sex toy store, found inside the boxes of returned adult items that had somehow made their way to a U.S. naval base in Bahrain. So it was something for the Navy. In the Navy, they like that stuff. But apparently they're not allowed these toys over there. I mean, I don't understand why it's not okay. They're just trying to fill a gap, you know. Get it? Fill a gap. Okay. And now we have a quote from an interview with one of the owners of this sex toy store who said, "We didn't even know that these products were going to Bahrain until they came back to us months later. And it just kind of unraveled this whole hilarious moment." Now, the online sexual wellness store shipped worldwide when they first launched in 2019, but this store owner says they now mostly service Canada, the United States, South America, Europe, and Asia due to various laws and regulations about what items can be imported to other countries, including Bahrain. She did mention that they do ship frequently to military bases, and she suspects the packages were likely forwarded to someone stationed in Bahrain, since her company does not ship there directly. All right, sounds like she's off the hook for sending it to Bahrain, but someone's smuggling them over there because, you know, the Navy boys are going to Navy boy. You can't stop that from happening. I mean, no matter how you slice it, you're going to get butt plugs to Bahrain. Butt plugs to Bahrain. It's funny. Sounds like a song. I'm not going to stoop that low and sing a butt plugs to Bahrain song. You're going to have to do that in your own head. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me jump back into the story and find out, are there going to be penalties for the soldiers? And how will the soldiers get their butt plugs from now on? I mean, it's not like it's easy to sneak a butt plug into places, right? I mean, how are you going to do that? I mean, where would you hide a butt plug, huh? I have no idea. Sounds like a difficult mission. Now, my article here prints a portion of the letter that they got from the Pentagon saying that during security screening by Bahrain Customs, pornographic materials and or devices were identified in a package addressed to you. This letter is to notify you that your parcel was returned to the sender. Please notify the sender that pornographic materials or devices are not allowed into the Kingdom of Bahrain. Oh, wow. What did the second letter say? This is the Department of War. Listen, butt plugs are a danger, all right? Once they arrive, it's difficult to track them, where they go, who or what's on the other end of them. So please don't be sending butt plugs. Also, furry handcuffs, quite a danger. The owner of the sex toy companies questions whether or not the American soldiers stationed in Bahrain have been directly notified on what they're allowed to order to the country. Here's her quote. "I don't know why they're sending me very cross letters saying, stop sending items that could cause bodily harm to this country. This sounds like a you problem. The call was coming from inside the house." Well, this woman's really funny, as you can imagine someone who owns a sex toy shop would be. She goes on to say, "There are many layers of hilarity to this that we can all just poke fun at, and the situation's very funny. Well, at the same time, yeah, I genuinely want everyone. You know, I'm sad that they didn't get their order. I want everybody to enjoy themselves." Poor soldiers. Well, no need to worry about that because, you know, soldiers can get very inventive. There's a lot of things on the base that could substitute for a butt plug, I'm sure. I'm sure you can find something in the kitchen. In the crisper, in the fridge, perhaps. Might be some gourds in there or something. Maybe the backside of a grenade launcher could work as well. I'm just spitballing. Now, the owner of the company, to memorialize what happened, she says these two letters from the government have been framed in their respective offices in Toronto and British Columbia, mounted in iridescent, bedazzled frames. Oh, and there's a picture of one. This is hilarious. Oh, this woman is awesome. And, you know, partly because she's Canadian. They just have such a great sense of humor about everything. I just love my Canadians. Shout out to my Canadian listeners out there, by the way. All right, I'm at the end of the article. And, oh, man, I wrote some other jokes that I forgot to do earlier here. Let me run through them. Maybe they're worthy. Are you sure they're butt plugs and not miniature Jeff Bezos statues? Perhaps we should start a charity called Butt Plugs Across Bahrain. Butt Plugs to Bahrain sounds like a wacky 90s comedy movie starring Rob Schneider. Maybe? And lastly, I'll just say we need to get some sexual relief to these soldiers, wherever they might be. Otherwise, we might be forced to relive history, because history does repeat itself. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Boston Toy Party, where early colonialists, angered over the king's tariffs on sex toys, dumped a bunch of butt plugs into the Boston Harbor. You guys remember that, right? Hello, lovely citizens of Earth. Thank you for spending some time with me, your host, Jonesy, and the Weird AF News podcast. So appreciated. I hope the sound quality is up to your satisfaction and that the stories are delicious. Naturally, I say it's the wine. It does go well with the chicken. Delicious again, Peter. Let's give a shout out to someone who wrote me a review on Apple Podcasts, also known as iTunes. It's a user named MKUltra83, and the review is great. First of all, stars. Gave me how many stars? Let me see. 5 stars. Holy crap. 5 stars. I got a 5-star review. That's amazing. I love them. I hardly ever get them. And then the review reads, great show from a fellow Bostonian. Jonesy, you forgot another public service that should not be publicly traded. Healthcare and hospitals. Did you know the majority of hospitals are, quote, for profit? So if the goal is profit, it can't be for health, too. It's simply too expensive to actually make people healthy. Funny thing is, if you opt out of all this BS, you will actually be healthier. Freedom cannot be given, only taken. That's a great review. Yeah, I was aware that many hospitals, medical companies were for profit. I mean, we saw what happened with that Luigi alleged assassination of the CEO, and then it came to light that company, pulled some really unsavory maneuvers to maintain a certain level of profitability because, they're an insurance company and they want to show profits every quarter, so they're denying claims and the entire medical field is filled with for-profit legs, healthcare legs, businesses, health insurance companies, hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, et cetera, and like you said, I mean, if they're making a profit, what's their real interest here? Are they really trying to heal people? Anyways, I don't want to go on and on about this. It just makes me sad. Let's start off 2026 positive, guys. I know it's going to be hard, but we can do it. I think we can do it. All right. I mean, I'll help you. I'll help you forget mainstream news. Just drop that. You could just drop all that mainstream news and just hang out with me with the weird news, right? You got horses pooping in a Target. Hey, wacky times, right? Wacky. We had 2 stories about swords yesterday, right? Who wants to hear mainstream news? Oh, Venezuela oil. Why not listen to stories about swords? Weird AF News has got you covered. And if you want to help me out, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, also known as iTunes, or on Amazon. You can leave reviews on Amazon. I know many of you have Amazon accounts. Just look for Weird AF News. It's on there. You can leave me some stars. And if you're listening on Spotify, please give me 5 stars. No. You can. I don't believe you can write like reviews on there. You can comment on particular episodes, but you know what's helpful? Just subscribe on Spotify. Follow, like, whatever that's called. Like, I think, means to follow, and then just quickly click the stars, and that would be supremely helpful. I'm gonna stop asking you to do things. All right, just go have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and think about me.